Hi, my babies. How are we doing? I'm just coming in for a general read, but I really want to see how's your weekend going to go. Per usual, if this doesn't apply to you, sit right with you. You don't want to hear what I have to say? That is okay. I will be back some other time. What is this weekend going to look like for this collective? What is this weekend going to look like for this collective? Let me do one more. There we go. So I got the Ace of Cups, the Three of Cups in reverse, and then the King of Cups right over here. And at the bottom of the deck, I got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So this weekend, I feel like somebody is going to ask you out and you're going to say no because you don't do well with peer pressure. And there's nothing wrong with that, but whoever I'm talking to, maybe I feel like you're kind of the black sheep of your friend group or of your coworkers or whatever. Like maybe with all of this like cups energy, water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, could be you, could be somebody else, doesn't have to be. There's so much emotion here. This is definitely tied into your emotional well-being, right? And whoever I'm talking to, I'm clearly, you're single. I think a couple different things. For one, I don't think you're completely over somebody at this particular time. I don't think you are truly open to receive at this particular time. But again, you don't do too well with peer pressure. And if you have been single for a short, I said that for a reason, a short amount of time, that's a sign for somebody. But regardless, if you've been the single one and you're watching all of your friends, all of your family members, your coworkers, whatever, get into these happy, glamorous relationships, and unfortunately, this collective, you kind of see how ugly it could be, especially if you're still not particularly over somebody, if you're still fixated on one specific situation, then yeah, naturally, you're not going to be open to everybody else. And a lot of times when our friends or our family or whoever this is applying about tries to push us into dating, a lot of times it does come from a good place. They want to see you happy. They want you to get your mind out of the gutter. They want you to go live your life. But however, again, I can't help but feel from the spread, you are clearly not ready. For some of you, you could be, again, still hung up on somebody else. For others of you, you may not. But it's coming from a place, again, you're simply not ready for a new offer. Why? Why? The Empress in reverse. Would I just say you don't do too well in peer pressure? And what I mean by that is I do feel like, if you have, for example, your friends doing the, oh, come on, just do the, I feel like you get very irritated. You clearly don't like to be controlled. And again, your friends or your family trying to push you out the door to get you back out there. It's not a form of control, but that's the way you feel. You feel like you're being told what to do and you don't like that. You want to go at your own place. At your own pace. And whatever you're planning on doing this weekend, clearly you're going to be around friends, family, you're going to be out in public maybe, and I feel like maybe somebody's going to try to hook you up with somebody, or if you're going to be out and about this weekend, you're going to run into somebody. Again, I think you got an approach coming, but I think this collective, you're going to say no, because again, simply you are not ready, and that is okay. With the Empress in reverse, I think you are finally admitting to yourself, I'm not ready to receive. I think you do look at love as low-key kind of traumatic. I think that also the reason, like when your friends or family are like, come on, let's do this, you get very, because again, you see how relationships operate, at least in your world. I feel like you have always been the King of Cups. You have always been the masculine when it comes to your emotions. Literally, you've been dealing with children. And in your mind, I don't want to deal with that again. So unfortunately, the perfect guy could approach you, or the perfect person, sorry, gender doesn't matter on my page, could approach you, you wouldn't believe them. You wouldn't give them the time of the day. And again, there's nothing wrong with it, but there is something coming forward. You're going to have to set those boundaries with your friends, with your family, whoever you're going to be around this weekend, and be like, hey, I will go at my own pace. Who is this King of Cups? Who is this person? Because again, I'm hearing a hard no. What? And again, I think a lot of it has a lot to do with you, but where's this hard no coming from as well? Ace of Swords. I also think that the way somebody approaches you is very important to you. That's where I'm saying either these friends or these people are going to try to hook you up with this person, or you're just going to run into them. And I think it's the way, obviously, the way you look at somebody or the way they approach you is what gets you attracted to them. I think it's what this person approaches you or what they're going to say to you makes you go, ugh. Like, again, you've been dealing with, like, wounded masculine energy for so long when it comes to the dating field. I don't know why I'm getting this person may approach you in the most childish way possible. Makes you go, ugh. They could be extremely attractive. Again, they could be the perfect guy, but right here, it's like the way they're going to approach you, it's like, get away from me. Literally, you're going to whip out that sword and slice them. No, thank you. And of course this should matter. If this person's approaching you sloppy, what does that make you feel like moving forward into the dynamic? I don't know why I'm also hearing somebody could be, you know, if you guys are going to be out and about this weekend, you know, a little too tipsy, but regardless, I think that you are starting to take dating seriously. And there's nothing wrong with going out to clubs or bars or, you know, answering DMs on social media. But I think that you're finally recognizing the difference between a proper relationship, you know, a mature relationship versus a situationship. Versus somebody or somebody's just trying to use you or trying to get something out of you. So if this person's going to approach you talking a bunch of nonsense, or they're acting sloppy, or they're, I don't know, maybe like clearly this collective, you got standards. I don't know why, if this person's going to be like cussing a lot, maybe they're going to be extra vulgar. And like I said, if like is at state here, I think again, this collective, you're going to be like, no, you're going to get opportunities at love this weekend, or at least, but again, I'm hearing a hard no, and I don't blame you. If this person's being inappropriate to you, you're allowed to say no, but it's not the other person I feel like is going to be your problem this weekend. Again, it's more of setting up those boundaries with these friends, with these group of people, like, hey man, I'm not ready to date. What do we got to say about that? Six of Wands. Okay. And then the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And then the King of Swords in reverse. And every time I split my deck, I forgot to mention this earlier, the Queen of Pentacles is showing up. Clearly, you're meant to focus on your stability as of right now. I feel like that's something you're already fixated on, is your goals, your finances, your career, and literally everything else, I feel like, but love. But getting involved with somebody emotionally is not your cup of tea right now. And that's perfectly valid, too, to say, hey, stop hooking me up with these people. And again, it may come from a place, especially if you have friends or family that do have, I guess, successful marriages, or maybe with the Six of Wands. Yes, this talks about victory, success, but a lot of it is with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And again, if you know these people very, very well, maybe you do know that things are always great behind closed doors. Yeah, maybe on surface level, they look like they have a successful relationship or successful marriage, but you know there are certain hiccups going on. So in a lot of ways, I think that you are attached to family, friends, etc., whatever this message is applying about, that does well, my marriage is great, my relationship is great. And you're kind of doing is it? It's kind of that, I think maybe you may, with that Ace of Swords, to set that firm boundary with these people and say, mind your monkeys, mind your circus. Until you get your relationship squared, don't worry about mine. Especially if they are hooking you up with somebody that's a little bit immature. And is a little much. And especially if you are outgrowing those patterns, and if those friends are trying to suck you right back into it. And again, it's not coming from a manipulative space. I really do think they want what's best for you, but you're going to have to simply say, I'll worry about my love life. And maybe that's been a history too. Maybe like you've always relied on friends or family to hook you up with people. Maybe that's another boundary of you got to go look for yourself. But yeah, you're going to have somebody ask you out this weekend, but you're going to say no. Have fun.